This is the third video in a mini-series about dynamic array formulas in Excel. In the first one, we looked at what dynamic array formulas are. In the second one, we looked at how dynamic array formulas can replace absolute cell references. And in this video, I want to cover one specific word, dynamic. What dynamic means in this context is that because the formulas return more than one value, and those values spill into the cells around the cell containing the formula, if the number of values generated by the formula changes, the spill range automatically resizes itself. Here I have the Premier League table from a few years ago, and I've converted the data in columns A to H into a table called football. If I go over to K2, I have a formula in that cell that converts what's in A2 to uppercase. I then copied that formula down column K, so as it stands, these cells contain individual formulas. They are not dynamic array formulas. Each formula references a single cell, the value in the team column on the current row. That's what the @ sign means, current row of the table. So if I now go over to A22, and I type in another entry. Let's put FC United. Yes, I know they're not in the Premier League, never have been, but it's a demo. To get that in uppercase in column K, I then have to copy that formula down to K22. So I've now deleted the formulas from column K. I've also deleted that additional row from the table, and I'm going to enter in a slightly different formula into K2. It's still going to be the upper function, but instead of specifying a single cell A2, I'm going to specify all the cells in the team column. So I'll put football, which is the name of the table, square bracket, click on team, close square bracket, and close parentheses, and press enter. The formula now references, as I said, a range of values, the team column, rather than a single value. So Excel treats the output as an array. If I then go and add another entry, so again, I'll put FC United into A22. Because the formula referenced the table and the table has expanded, the array has automatically or dynamically resized. In this demo, again, I'm using the same data as columns A to H, although this time it's not set up as a table. In K4, I've entered this formula. The take function has been programmed by Microsoft as a dynamic array function, so it'll generate a spill range. And that spill range contains the values from the first 10 rows of the range A2 to H21. If I edit the formula and change the 10, the second argument, to 5 and press enter, the spill range automatically resizes. If I edit the formula again and change the 5 to an 8, again the spill range resizes. I'm going to go up to K1 and I'm going to type a number in there. I'll type 5. And then edit the formula in K4 and change the second argument to reference K1. So now it's picking up the number of rows to display from K1. So if I change K1 to 12, we're now seeing 12 rows. So you can see what it's doing is it's automatically resizing the array based on the value in K1. Now, if you've ever seen a hash sign or pound sign, as it's called in some countries, in a formula and wondered what it does, I'm going to show you in this example. Columns A to C contain all the transactions for a company's bank account for a particular day, and it's showing both credits, money going in, and debits, money coming out. A1 to C24, by the way, has been set up as a table, and the table is called transactions. Columns F to H display the transactions where the type is CR. And I've done that by using the filter function. So that formula in F4 says apply a filter to the transactions table and pull out all the rows where the type column from that table is CR. And that formula, as I say, was entered into F4. And because the filter function generates an array, the values spill down the rows, but also across columns F, G, and H. There's a formula in G1. And what that formula is doing is counting the number of transactions where the type is CR. And this is the formula. It's counting the number of cells in H4 to H20 that have something in. I could have picked G4 to G20, or I could have picked F4 to F20, because there's always going to be a date, there's always going to be an amount, there's always going to be a type. Now, what happens if I add another row of data to the table? And to save time, I'll just copy and paste to give me an extra row. Although the table expands and that new entry has been added to columns F, G, and H, so it's part of the dynamic array, the value in G1 doesn't change. And that's because the formula in G1 is referencing H4 to H20. So it's ignoring row 21. I'm going to delete that row from the table, and you can see that it's deleted it from the array. I'm going to edit the formula in G1 so that it updates automatically. So I'll delete it and start from scratch. I'll put equals count A, open brackets, and what I want to do is count the number of items in the third column of the dynamic array generated by what's in F4. So I'm going to use the CHOOSECOLS function, open brackets, and then just select F4 and type in a hash sign and then put (3). So what that does is it tells Excel to count the number of items generated by the third column of the array that is starting in F4. I need two closing brackets because I've got two functions in there, and press enter. I'm going to add another row to the table, and to save time, I'll just copy and paste the last row. So that row now gets added to the data in F, G, and H, and the value in G1 updates automatically. I'll show you one more example of the hash sign. In columns J to L, I want a copy of what's in F to H, but I want it sorted by the amount high to low. So in J4, I'll use the sort function, equals sort, open brackets. Select F4 and type the hash sign. And what that does is that references all the values generated by the formula that's in F4. I can only do that because the formula that's in F4 has generated a dynamic array. If the formula in F4 hadn't generated a dynamic array, then this wouldn't work. Let me just finish this formula off. So I'll put a comma and I'll put 2, another comma, and I'll put -1. What that's saying is take all the values generated by the array that starts in F4 and sort them based on the values in the second column of that array, amount, and sort in descending order, high to low. That's what the -1 is, descending order. If I put 1, that would have been ascending order. So if I press enter, you can see what we get. If I add another row to the original data, so let's do that. Let's just copy and paste that last row to save time typing. So I'll add another row to the original data. The table expands to row 26. The array in columns F, G, and H expands because it's referencing the table. The formula in G1 updates because it's referencing the dynamic array in F4. And the values in J to L update because they're referencing the values generated by the dynamic array in F4. I hope this video helped you out. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like more Excel tips and tricks, check out my website at theexceltrainer.co.uk. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, have an excellent day.